Hello, and welcome back. Northstar here with another HOI4 Got to Dublin, United States Socialist Let's Play. Now, civil wars rage across Europe. With Poland, the Polish Peasant Union has risen up, and I believe will be going communist. The Italian Union has risen up and has already gone communist. Spain, the Republic is quite possibly crushing the nationalists and then will go communist. Portugal is going communist. France might be going communist. That seems good. Oh, yeah, and Belgium is going communist, but Germany is Nazi. Um, I would have to check, but I believe Sweden is going communist, and that actually has them aligning with Germany quite often. The United Kingdom is going non-aligned, which can also have them align with Germany. So they give up Italy, but they'll still get Hungary, Bulgaria, quite like Romania, the Nazis, that is. They should be able to invade and take Austria and Czechoslovakia, though not without a fight, given that Austria is going its non-aligned path and Czechoslovakia, I think, is going little entente. So they'll still get all of the areas they historically did, and Sweden to boot. They'll overrun France, Belgium. It's not looking great, and the UK allying with them. Soviets are going right opposition, and it should be noted that right oppositionist, it's an interesting flag the Malawian Republic has. Right oppositionist Soviet Union is under the eye the weakest path. Under human player can be stronger with a later war. If you delay World War II to like 43 start, it can be the strongest path. With a war that starts in 41 for the Soviets, like historically or earlier, it's already weaker. And with the human player, left opposition is stronger earlier, right opposition is stronger later. Center divides the difference between the two in many ways. And played poorly, left or right opposition are both weaker in the center. Which is to say, the Soviet Union might fold under Nazi pressure as well as Europe. It's not looking too hot. Mexico is going communist quite clearly. That actually means they'll invade me if I don't join their faction. This doesn't have the benefit of the multiplayer game I'm doing, where I can, have an understanding with my friend who's going communist Mexico not to invade me. Communist Mexican focus tree involves invasion. I am doing the United States, and let me be clear, and I kind of almost meant to say this right off the bat. We do socialism better here. None of that authoritarian crap. Democratic socialism. Communist Party USA becomes the ruling party. Elections will still be held. Still have Congress to cause problems, quite possibly, but also provide benefits. The 38 midterms are coming up, and that will probably start me on the path to the Civil War with the Neo-Confederacy rising up. But also, I'll be desegregating the South well ahead of history, ending the racial oppression to some degree, lessening it earlier than it historically was lessened. Also need the Selective Training Act, the Two Ocean Navy, Communist Mexico, and there's nothing I can do to influence the AI's rate of focus order. We'll probably try and do things that liberate the Antilles reasonably soon. I need the Selective Training Act before then. I don't think I have the congressional support for it just yet. I will for the Old Age Pension Act, Fair Labor Standards Act. I only have a buffer of about 21 reps, and so yeah, I've got small lobbying effort going because I'm gonna need more support for some of the things I do. But There's a Scientific Research and Development Office, which after Fair Labor Standards Act in 11 days, I'll probably grab in. Research slots are invaluable, or the Old Age Pension Act, depending on how much support I lose with Fair Labor Standards Act. And then I gotta rush the Selective Training Act and the Two Ocean Navy. And between that and time not running focuses, then I barrel right into my Civil War. Also, the Wear Group would be good, give me more political power income, but I've got higher priorities like research slots and stability. Naval dockyards. I did notice I could, this is 1 day for completion, so I put 2 dockyards to be no overflow. Get the ship out 1 day sooner. The game thinks I am over the strength of the British Navy, so I can't really add any more capital ships. I did a quick off-camera tag over them to make sure they don't have a decision to war me yet. I do believe, as long as I don't do anything past the Wichita, which was queued at the start of the game, I should be able to finish up my current naval production queue and just all screening ships from here. Lots of Farragut class B1s, which are the Farragut class with the Norfolk Naval Station reliability and range added, and stripped out the fire control system because it's too expensive to add. There should be an A2 version, which is Norfolk with the fire control system, so that I can cheaply upgrade A1s. Stripping out the fire control actually adds costs to the retrofit and makes the ship less effective, so why would I ever do that? It's not worth adding new systems, but I'm not going to remove existing ones. I'm very, very close to completion of torpedo cruisers, after which I could, in theory, start right on some of them. But the diesel-powered emergency pumps will... I was going to do this trait, wasn't I? It's been a little bit since I looked at this. 7 experience a day. That's like 100 days. Yeah, I was going to do this and then start getting progress, obviously, towards high-speed cruising. I thought I'd do that before any torpedo cruisers. In the meantime, I'll need lots of destroyers to guard my convoys. If I end up having to fight the British Navy, I'll obviously lose some of these destroyers. They're not just for convoy guarding, they're also for providing screening for capital ships eventually. Once I get the high-speed cruising, I might start... I'm just getting all the 30 early destroyers I can done now. I eventually might start 1936 destroyers with heavier torpedo armaments. I haven't even teched torpedo 2 improved ship torpedo launchers, and that's probably the next thing after this, which will also get me naval experience I need for high-speed cruising. So, enough talk. 9 minutes almost. Catching up, mentally rehearsing stuff. I have long COVID, so mentally rehearsing what I've been doing helps. Because I forget things. Not that anyone can with this game. It's so much to keep track of. But yeah, we do socialism better here in the United States. So, cool. Cool. Let's unpause. I may be missing things. It's impossible to keep track of everything in this game. I've also been starting to look at my Stellaris save, because I'll probably pick that back up soon. Did some merging up of my cruisers and such. Let's get a new Shadow of the Empires. Cool. Goodness, that's loud. So, here we go. Come March 6th, should be able to pre-deploy this training battalion. Add a new one. Yeah, it's going to try and rebalance stuff here to here. I hate that, but I'm going to prevent that. Smaller line. Training battalion. I have more time than I thought till my Civil War. I'll have to stop doing the large divisions. Reason for that being reasonably simple. No way I get even those guys all the way to regular before my Civil War, I don't think. And with larger divisions, it takes more equipment to be able to hold the line. So they're super under-equipped. I don't have a limited manpower. There's combat with restrictions. I'm going to be attacking. I should say not to hold the line, but to attack. Smaller divisions, of course, will suffer moral losses, but they can win where larger can't because more org bars in total. Something on the verge, tip of my tongue here, edge of my mind. March 16th will be what? I think I can avoid overflowing that. Concentrate a little bit my destroyer production. I'll have to reduce that back to 1 dock here later. March 16th, the Fair Labor Standards Act, I can start that, which will finally remove the Great Depression spirit. It's already slow economic growth altogether. Preparing to industrialize Michigan. We'll be shadowing Empire someday. This is appropriate music. It's worth noting I'm buying rifles in the Netherlands. Which I guess strikes a little industry that way, and then selling to various places. I probably shouldn't be buying and selling rifles. I've calculated out that actually loses you industry. It's dumb, even if you jack up the price. Because you don't run economic capacity surplus through the infrastructure modifiers or anything else. So, like, if you were selling stuff at normal price, a factory's worth of stuff would, like, 15 factories produces 75 here. At the end, after the 29, it's like 120. You can only add 25% effectively with the capacity surplus, plus another small modifier for being under free trade. Extra 5%. Yeah, I don't. Hard to go through all the math right now. But basically, I pay out in construction that would have gone through infrastructure and get back stuff that doesn't go through it, and it's net loss. So stupid unless I'm trying to say, for some reason, help the Netherlands industrialize. Say in a multiplayer game. So I'll stop doing that. Of course, yeah, M1s. It's not even like I'm buying, selling different classes. No, it's just infantry one I'm buying and selling both. It's dumb. So I won't be doing any more of that nonsense. Tempted to cancel this. Because, yeah, that would probably be dumb. It'd upset the Netherlands and they'd stop buying stuff from me. Just no more. I get really close, it might be switching this in New York. It doesn't make a difference in that civ being done. So the New York infrastructure can be done a little sooner. We can get started on those civs sooner. We'll see. Might not make sense. The New York infrastructure would be done, and then maybe before the Michigan stuff would be done first, and as soon as the Michigan stuff be done, I go into this. Oh yeah, I could boost those up. I don't need. Anyways, it's minor micro stuff. Missed our save. Looking at that, I have a very long running save. I haven't touched it in a long time, so it's not that plays much. Eventually, I've been running a very breakneck speed of economic development with even some cheating involved in that very carefully balanced economy, which I don't remember my strategy, so I'm just going to have to maybe suffer almost like a recession because I don't remember the strategy and work to rebalance my economy in that before I'm ready to start streaming it and wean myself off of the safes coming. I shouldn't be doing that, but I wanted to get to the late game quicker in game year terms. I just have this thing about not liking seeing planets getting destroyed. I wanted to get powerful enough to, ban Colossus weapons through the Galactic community and be able to actually enforce that ban and deal with some terrivores that will literally eat planets as quickly as possible in game year terms so that fewer planets die. I don't know, I like to protect life. It's a silly thing, but it's just... And that drove me to saves coming. Plus, I don't know. It's a game, power fantasies. Do what you enjoy in it. People criticize me. Of course, people probably also criticize me for my custom game modes in Pop-Up Dungeon, where I have these these game modes that I am designed to allow me to take on higher difficulty. They could be considered almost like cheating, but then I turn the difficulty slider further up. But that's to grind charms earlier, and I don't know. Put it my own. That game is very freeform. Where are all the M1s? I mean, not M1s, the 1903 Springfields. Do I exercise? Usually, I forgot to turn a training off. And I find the Springfield rifles are going to the field divisions instead of where I need them to go, which is to the training queue. Let's check this. This number should go up. 17 rifles to tomorrow. I'm producing 8 a day. 26 rifles. Yay. I'd like to find a way to get rifles. What I could do is put a small training brigade into training and put it before the battalions that would get rifles first if it's higher up on this queue. Once these all get to 20, maybe. So larger group of men, more efficient in terms of equipment, but takes less efficient in terms of expanding your size of your army as quickly as you can. Oh, the Arsenal of Democracy. Good song. Sure this doesn't tick over. Sometimes right before midnight it will tick. Nope. Here we go. Fair Labor Standards Act and the completion of the torpedo cruiser. Project output. Project delays. Tsunami of innovations. Strength of torpedoes. Second chance at first idea. The idea of torpedo cruisers came up before, was abandoned. Probably shouldn't have been abandoned. It's a good idea. It really is. I was actually building one of these. Start with this. Norfolk because of reliability, but I'm not starting any of these yet. I like to produce them with the higher level torpedo design, high level torpedoes than just the level 1 arrays. After this, let's get to size 4, 5, 6 with the armor. At which point, I can apply mechanical genius and provide the same reliability as Norfolk Naval Yard. 9, and can get better ships. I may want to design and produce some before then, but we'll see. I need so many what are commonly called roach destroyers just to be able to protect my shipping. The British Navy is huge. There's a lot of sea to cover and want some redundancy so you can have destroyers obviously in repairs. Face the enemy with overwhelming numbers when you do face them. Escort your capital ships cheaply, etc., etc. Of course, the problem with these destroyers is they don't have much hit points. They're early destroyer hulls. Their reliability could be better. So a 36 destroyer would be better. Even for... These are escort destroyers, not fleet destroyers meant for combat, really. But I have to deal with combined subforces, the UK and Germany, then. And it'll pay off. I'll delay it. You know, I'll just keep this up. Put this top of queue because it's actually the first for completion. Cool. Chromium from the Soviets. The first signs of a slow recovery taking place, it's time to ensure that the workers get to participate in it. Must ban exploitative practices such as unpaid overtime and introduce a livable minimum wage. Yep. So this is the act that introduced the minimum wage in the United States. Serves a purpose, I suppose, although there's inefficiencies introduced. Is people get too obsessed with efficiency in capitalism, and the reason it sucks for most people isn't because of inefficiency, it's because capitalism sets wages as low as possible and the workers maximizing profits and goes wherever the labor is cheapest. The solution is not to not have minimum wages and have people working for 2 cents an hour or God knows what. It's the solution is socialism. It's nationalize industries and workers' cooperatives. Decision making then does not prioritize paying workers as little as possible. Workers' cooperatives aren't necessarily going to relocate their business out of town and put themselves out of jobs. Please do see Mondragon Corporation does a little manufacturing in Latin America, for instance. So there's a little bit of that, but it's not done to a very large degree. And the reason why is, you know, people want a job, they take pride in their work. And when they have a say in the business, they're not going to pursue the lowest wages wherever they can. Plus, it's Nicaragua, where they're doing manufacture, if I remember, which has socialist elements to this day, because the Sandinistas, the CIA historically murdered with Iran-Contra. Reagan illegally sending weapons there when the U.S. Congress forbid him from doing so. So he sold weapons to Iran and then used the proceeds from selling weapons to Iran to send money to the Contras and their far-right death squads in Nicaragua. And for what it's worth, may have smuggled money through drug smugglers. Maybe even the CIA may have actually done some money laundering with bringing cocaine into Los Angeles to make crack. The crack epidemic in LA, many have blamed on Iran-Contra indirectly. That the accusation is there, although it's never been proven. But Oliver North, I don't remember anything. When he testified, Oliver North was the guy who worked with the drug lords and could have probably testified to those facts if he hadn't basically perjured himself in front of Congress and claimed he didn't remember anything and gotten away with it. Got a pardon from Reagan for any crimes he may have committed. Insane. Should never have been allowed to do that. Reagan should have been impeached for that, for pardoning Oliver North. It was a clear bit of, you cover up my crimes, I pardon you for covering them up. Right. See, I've got fleets there. Gotta locate these subs at some point. Ooh, I can pre-deploy a couple more divisions. In fact, I missed a couple days on the 50th. Well, whatever. See, these guys can strike into here or here, so yeah, 2 divisions here. Just very slowly training. Basically, there's like 10,000 men, and they're passing around like 17 rifles or something. 35. Takes a long time for them to get their marksmanship training in when they have to share what it would probably actually be as a small group of people push all the way through, then they hand off the next group, and sometimes the rifles break doing this with this much heavy use. That's why it's less efficient equipment than, well, you can't complete basic training without fully equipping a division. You can only pre-deploy like I've done. Next group will be here. Lots of people in Kentucky because I'm going to push down to Tennessee against the Neo-Confederates. Pricks who can't accept racial desegregation. They're willing to kill their countrymen to not accept it. It's evil. I cannot condone them at all in any way, shape, or form. They're doing. Well, be deploying men here, then more to Missouri. Kentucky, Missouri. More troops. Those remain loyal to the Union, those states, and yeah, they'll indirectly be rewarded with being economically developed earlier. Because, I don't lose control of those factories. They might have otherwise been jobs into the state or industry, ultimately. Since the civil eventually be converted to mill very far down the line. I have to think very long term. Europe might be lost. I might be stuck fortifying my coasts and fighting a prolonged naval war. Fortifying the coasts so that I suffer fewer losses if I just put like level 2 coastal forts at each port kind of thing from the occasional attempted naval invasions. And so that I don't have to maintain naval supremacy and I can just hit and run tactics, whatever, and use naval bombers, whatever gets me the control the seas at the least cost in the very long run. Thinking very long term. This is not going to be pretty if the Soviet Union falls. But I'm the United States, and very few people can stand against this kind of industrial power. Once I'm up to total mobilization, fortify my coast, build some anti-air on the coasts, maybe further inland, and lots of special projects, more research facilities, and have turned civ to mill. I'm especially in the communist USA. I'm an unstoppable industrial giant. Communist USA gets more build slots than any other path. And the Civil War itself had some. Cool. These guys might keep them as that. Maybe turn to the large engineer brigades, which are 6 infantry, an engineer, and eventually, well, I haven't created a version that's equipped, but eventually equip them. They may just be used to hold the rear behind these, which will be my 9 infantry support HOI engineers. Standard troops are actually, maybe, because support equipment's so expensive, they might be auxiliary divisions. Not these, that's 12 infantry. Light divisions, actually, which are 9 infantry, 1 support artillery. So a whole bunch of light divisions. I don't need engineers on most. Engineers are good for really small divisions that need a lot of defense for not that much manpower. Because even the US doesn't have infinite manpower. And engineers, in terms of limit combat width, limit manpower, they're one of the best ways to add defense to small divisions that would otherwise suffer crits, but bigger ones don't need it at all. Like anything, 18 width infantry division doesn't need the engineers generally, but a 6 width or a 12 width might to avoid crits. That's barbed wire. Good song. Check my stockpiles. I'm building up M1s and these Dutch infantry equipment 1, which are for all respects identical, except that if the Dutch ever give me a Lend-Lease, they get army XP from it. Which is unlikely. This is before the Graveyard of Empires, so they can't cave to the... Though it's possible to actually... If Germany and the UK both change ideologies, then they can bypass and go any path. But if one of them doesn't, they can't bypass them all. Or some. So anyways, they shouldn't be able to actually cave to the Germans, so they either trade neutrality or the British, which means they either go non-aligned as monarchist, communist, or democracy. If they go communist, especially, they might be willing to send me some Lend-Lease. Miss a war eventually if it drags on. Though they take so long to flip, I'll probably be done with the war before then. Not probably. Like, certainly. Let's be honest. Pretty much 100% chance of that, unless they keep the war going an insanely long time. Cool. I want to push down here. The spearhead go there, and then others come here, push the server near Little Rock. If we can take Little Rock, it's worth 2 civ. Also, would like to have enough political power saved up to run. There's war propaganda, done below 50% war support, and there's also war economy, though I may have to send away a bunch of factories to the Soviets for like stockpiling massive amounts of chromium. I can consider it because I actually am running a chromium deficit most of the time. I wish. Why am I not running a... Oh, the special project used chromium. There we go. I wish you could actually stockpile earlier. Or it's on like 3 or 2 or something. You could apparently stockpile resources. I would just buy a bunch of chromium Soviets, but the whole war mobilization system is stupid that I can't go war economy even if they have the war support. Unless the Confederates have 40% of my factories, which is not going to happen except by exploiting the system. Or intentionally crippling my industrial snowball and building like forts in the border or something dumb. Like forts in the border with them. I suppose I could do forts in the Canadian border, Mexican, it might actually make a little sense. Or do this coastal forts early. But, yeah, that stuff's not happening. How am I doing for time? 38 minutes? Yeah, I can keep going for a bit. I know, this is slow. This is painfully slow. Probably what little excitement there is at this point comes from watching what's going on in, these guys are closer done, so I can afford to let them... They don't generate army XP except when they're trained or regular exercising, so I'll let them get a surplus and then turn these to 10 infantry battalions. I'll move some winter acclimation, but I actually don't want cold acclimation. I want heat because I'm going to be pushing into warmer climates. It'll dilute out the cold acclimation, which is actually not a bad thing. May 10th is the first day where I'd be done with that. Which point I'd also be done with the New York stuff. I could already... Interesting. Maybe I should have flipped stuff around earlier. March 27th. March 20th. Yeah, I'll do that because it'll get New York's infrastructure done sooner. Just a tiny bit sooner. Starting the New York line of factories and before that. Completion of that civil line and yeah, whatever. And anyways, New York, Michigan, civilian economy. When did I add? Probably need to give one of Clark's divisions to a different general. Oklahoma. Here. These guys were in advance down along the river. Advance and hold. Assuming here that's... Grab that. Yeah, I might have a battle on my hands in Texas. Probably should put these guys under some planning. I need Omar Bradley. Higher planning cap. Better with the logistics too. Currently in the mud. Which reminds me of, you see us in the loading screens sometimes. Through the mud and the bud. Through the mud and the blood. To the greenhouse beyond. That's the slogan of the Royal Canadian Armored Forces. Yep. I'd be trying to grab this supply depot very early. It'll support my push further into Texas in this one. And make sure the Neo-Confederates aren't well supplied. I'll be able to grab the Texas Panhandle early and then hopefully before too long advance down to Dallas, Houston, all that. Texas is going to take a while to take, but it's got a lot of civ and oil, so it's valuable. And they won't capitulate just because they have to retake in Texas, but grab what ground they can early, what's less defend is the idea. Anyways. These guys can only advance down on the river. Some of them cross the river to here to support these divisions. Which these are going to turn to National Guard. 24 with times 4. It's 96 with. I have one cross the river. Actually, I may not be using much more in this. Unless I have to fight here and then. Enforcements. Maybe another division in Springfield then. They can hit either of these hills in Arkansas if they're defended. Or advance and hold as Clark. The idea is he advances in uncontested territory, uses high attack skill to defend effectively. He doesn't have the same attack as MacArthur or Bradley. Actually, he could have the same as Bradley if I want, but he might not hit quite as hard. 6 attack. Yeah, he could have the same as any of those. Not as high attack as Patton. But he's an infantry leader, so he gains infantry leader XP, which is very valuable. So that's the idea. One of my best people for pushing into territory is also my infantry expert. Reckless people aren't, of course, the best for defending, but it'll be useful someday. Probably become an infantry expert because I'll actually use attack with infantry. Whereas Frendall is more purely defensive, old guard, flexible strategist. Brown and MacArthur are both brilliant strategists. Leaders with a lot of potential. April 10th, so a full month before, yeah. Right, As soon as this is done, this will get some factors right into the New York line there. Won't be too much after that till I get to Michigan. Cool. So a lot of the excitement comes from watching what's going on in Europe. The nationalists are getting crushed. Crushed. Which is good. They'll be very much in their back feet or even surrender almost right after when the Spanish Commune splits off, which replaced the anarchists with the Spain doing its anti-Stalinist communist path. International brigades already shows that they're doing that. And there'll be a war between the Republic and the Spanish Commune. The right opposition Soviets actually get a special focus if the Spanish Commune wins. Where they get socialist bulwark, they form a faction with them. Joins them in their war against the nationalists, and then I thought they formed a faction with them. But they do join the war, they get war support, and they'll tend to bring them into their faction. Maybe that was this the Republic that actually forms the faction. Hmm. When they get to unify the London Bureau, they will form a faction. Which at that point invites anyone who's not Stalinist, I believe. So I think it invites the right opposition Soviets. I just wonder some way they end up a faction together, basically. If for no other reason, the Soviets can create factions just any time, diplomatic interaction, and they'll be in a war together. What? I thought this wouldn't happen until the 38 midterms. Huh. Well, I will definitely wait the 2 weeks to lose that 20% stability. I guess I'm having my civil war in 1937, not 38. So it wasn't entirely a loss in my multiplayer game. I delayed the war some by waiting on the representation. I still should have done it in 36. But to read this to you guys, because I'm going to be soon ending this stream. Tensions escalated at another protest in the capital today, as another mass protest was called by, amongst others, the Silver Legion American. Silver Legion of America. Those are fascists, to be clear. Those are a very marginal group. These are like Nazi hailing Hitler kind of fascists. Repeating, and they were very few in number historically, but yeah, repeating their earlier demand, but maybe in this all history gained more popularity because communism is scaring right wingers. Repeating their earlier demands that a number of members of Congress be arrested and turned over them so they can lynch them. The protesters issued an ultimatum of 1 hour before they would storm the Capitol and remove the people on their list by force. When the ultimatum passed without reaction, small squads of Silver Legionnaires, so small assault squads of fascists, rushed the line of Capitol Police, like January 6th, but in March of 1937. A bloody melee developed, which quickly spread to engulf other protesters. With the police so occupied, other groups gained entrance into the buildings. Going from room to room, this is so prescient. This was actually added, this DLC, this event, before January 6th happened in the United States. January 6th of 2021, right? 2021, because it was after the 2020 elections. This this event was so prescient. It sounds so reminiscent of that, but it was added before that event happened. Uh, Going from room to room, they managed to find several of their intended victims. In actual January 6th, they didn't find any of their victims, but were stopped from leaving by armed police. And then ensuing firefight, several of the attackers were killed, while 2 congressmen were injured. An ugly mood has settled over the Capitol, with both sides blaming the other for the escalation. The next few weeks will show whether the incident now known as the Battle of Capitol Hill was the end of the protests or merely the prelude to an even bigger conflict. Blood has been spilt. We must expect that more will be spilt before this is over. Lose 20% stability. Fascist elements in the population will begin preparations for an uprising. That is for a civil war. Yeah, they're planning a second civil war. So it's a good time to cut things. 51 minutes. That event leaves a bad taste in the mouth, I know, but this is where things are in this alternate history, having to deal with these right-wing nut jobs storming the Capitol and killing people. I wish there were choice how to deal with it. I would definitely go and try and arrest them. But anyways, I did crack down the earlier protests, which I think reduces the mean time to happen until that. But that's maybe that shortens time from this event to the actual Civil War. I don't know. Viewers, take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. And may you always find guidance star to lead you home. Until next time, this is Northstar. Adieu. And I apologize for this video being sort of uneventful. What I've been getting a hold of. I know it's been a while since a video. Not well since you've seen it, but I had a buffer which I ran down and now I need to make more videos. Ciao.